here and there and everything. This is time for us to build trust among ourselves, believe that we are one, and we can save this country. Countries are survived by population. This is time to remove our division. We have all tried, we voted religion. Let's vote competence. The entire north is about 20% more than Ukraine. And they are more than Ukraine to support us for nothing. And people accepted Ukraine. When the entire north does not Ukraine, we cannot continue that. It is unfair to us. Like I said before, Bangladesh produces about 50 to 60 billion tons of rice. Nigeria cannot produce 10% of that. The entire Nigeria is 6 times the size of Bangladesh.
One thing I love about Mr. P2B is that he has been consistent with whatever he has been saying. Mr. P2B is consistent in his ideology. This is Mr. P2B speaking at the National Political Consultative Forum of the North. In attendance were Atiku Abubakar, Rotimi Amechi, and other northern political opposition leaders. They are trying to form a coalition in order to unseat Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the 2023 presidential election. The major problem that has befallen us as a nation is not that we have bad leaders. Our major problem is tribalism. Because of tribalism, we vote in people that are incompetent because they are from our tribe. And when you vote in people that are incompetent, it leads to corruption. Because when somebody does not have anything to offer, the person will resort to stealing. That's the reason why corruption has become endemic in our political system. It seems as if it cannot be wiped away. The major cause of corruption is because we have incompetent leaders at the helm of affairs. This is what Mr. P2B is telling the northern politician. Because so far so good, it seems like majority of the northern politicians are only concerned about having power. It was their quest of having power that brought in President Muhammadu Buhari in 2015. After President Muhammadu Buhari was done for 8 years, they also wanted to retain and control power in 2023. That was the reason why Atiku Abubakar and Kwankwaso contested the 2023 presidential election, despite knowing fully well that it was a turn of the South. If Atiku Abubakar and Kwankwaso has put behind their presidential ambition to support Mr. Peter Obi, not just because he is from the South, but because he is competent, we will not have been in the mess where we are today. We will not have been in the situation whereby we are now talking about one-party state. We will not be in a situation whereby every institution in this country has been captured by the president. 2027 presidential election is fast approaching, and the North is still gearing up once more to take over power from Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a southern president that has been in office for just 2 years. They are gearing up because they believe they have access, unhindered access to power in this country. They fail to realize that they contributed hugely to the problem we are having in this country. The northern region has had unhindered access to power for 40 plus years, over Nigeria's 60 plus years of independence. They contributed hugely to the mess that Nigeria is today. This is what Mr. P2B is telling them. Enough is enough. We can't continue on the path of voting based on tribalism and religion. We must vote people that are competent. We must vote people that has character. We must vote people that has antecedents, people that will move this country forward, people that are passionate about improving Nigeria, not because it is their turn, not because it is their lifetime ambition. What Mr. P2B is simply telling them that if you're very serious about this coalition, give me the ticket. I am the only presidential candidate that can defeat Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I am the only presidential candidate that is competent. I am more competent than every other presidential candidate in this hall. Hand over the ticket to me, not because I'm from the South, but because I have the capacity, I have the competence, I have the expertise, I have the support, I have the reach, the cult followership to defeat Bola Ahmed Tinubu and move Nigeria forward.
I maintain, and I still maintain, the insecurity in Nigeria, especially in the north, rests on poverty. The rest of all that has been mentioned and everything, I've been in the financial industry for years. And I can tell everybody this, you can go and verify this in this country. I was in the financial industry. When you look for cash, you go to Kano. When you look for cash, you know that Kano was #1 place for cash. Because then we had all the factories in Bombay, in Sharadamba, in Sharanti. Go to Kano today, those industries are not there. Go to Kaduna, there's no industry. There's no industry again in Kaduna. We used to put Kaduna Trade Fair 2 years for it to get a space. Today nobody goes there. We used to go to Medugri for cash. Today nobody goes there. That is the poverty. And when you have poverty, you have criminality and you have no control. Because when people don't know where the next thing will come from, you can never control your action. And there is the recruit. But in all these, it all rests squarely on governance, on government to solve. And I've always said, the North can change Nigeria. The greatest assets of this country is in the North. We can make more money, I say it every year, we can make more money from farm agriculture than we make from oil. And I'm starting to prove in everything. This entire country produces less than 6 million tons of rice. That is less than 10% of all Bangladesh produces. Bangladesh is a country that lives on 148,600 square kilometers of land. That is the size of 2 northern states. Niger at 76.3 and Borno at 70.8 is equal to Bangladesh. And Bangladesh has a population of 170 million. So if you divide their 146 by this thing, it's less than about 800 square meters, when these two states have over 13,000 square meters. It's a huge land. Niger State has the most arable land in this country, cannot feed itself. It's 76.3 thousand square kilometers. They are not exporting anything. Netherlands with 33,000 square kilometers. So Niger State is 2.5 times size of Netherlands. Yet they exported 124 billion euros, about over $130 billion of agricultural export. That is exactly 2.5 times what we get from oil. One state. The story is the same everywhere. So the solution is in the north. Look at a state like Taraba. Taraba can produce all the tea and coffee we need at the parks of Mandela. Taraba is 54.4 thousand square kilometers. Sierra Leone, that is making all their money from tea today, is 65,000 square kilometers. If you divide it by the population, Taraba is 3 times, if not more than that, of that size. And they make $1.5 to $2 billion from tea. And all these days, I drive around the north and I feel pain. This year I've been to Kafanchan, to Kaduna, to Katsina, to Jigawa, all this around by road. And you see loads of uncultivated land. Go to Morocco and travel from Casablanca to Port of Niger on both sides. And you see the difference. We can change the north. Agricultural farmland in the north is dead. Why do we have to do huge budget where we are doing a road for 15 trillion? Why don't we use 1.3? If you put 1.5 trillion on insecurity in the north today, we start dealing with it. We can capitalize our bank with 1 trillion, and if we put another 1.3 trillion in poverty alleviation, one of the they cannot even put their own counterparts on. We can solve it. The more you pull people out of poverty, the more you solve insecurity. I've been to prisons, I've been to places to see what is happening. We need to change it. It is very easy. We need to invest in education. We can't talk about free universal education when people are not going to school, our children are not in school. I have taken time to go to the north, sat down with our Rwandan children, they are the most brilliant people God created. Because I could see children in 9 years and 10 years memorizing Quran. If they can't go to school, we take school to them where they are learning Quran, they can learn English, they can learn mathematics, they can learn it. It's very easy. And we are doing it in Kaduna and it's working. I went to one in Kaduna 5 recent days with my brother that when they provided them, I'm paying their teachers now, provided them toilets, provided them everything. If you see the kids, they are changing. Let's invest in them. That's our assets. That's the assets we need. That's the doctors we need. We have a great country.